Going on, Jerome? It's a beautiful Saturday. Birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. So Vikings down in Jacksonville, Duval, and the Vikings official account, the mother account as it were, putting out a beautiful looking graphic. Love it. So you got the, I don't know, is it, I should know my Asian holidays better for my countrymen, but is it Chinese New Year sometime soon? Because you got the dragon, you got the Jaguars looking Asian-y. I'm allowed to say that? I don't know. But I feel like the Vikings should just adopt all Asian imagery because of my biases. because of my cultural proclivities. That doesn't matter. But either way, looking really good. Although, I do wonder, is it a holiday coming up? Because why the Asian influence? Or maybe it's just for me. I don't know. Who knows? Something I do know is Cam Robinson, revenge game going down on Sunday, facing his former team that made him a second-round pick out of Alabama, Roll Tide, and things didn't end great. He got paid by the Jaguars, franchise tag, and then a beautiful 3-year contract, and now seamlessly he's fitting in with the Minnesota Fighting Vikings, and he's got a chance. Like, it's going to be tough. Trevon Walker as well as Josh Allen-Hines, like, he practice against them every single day, but they're no slouches, right? But it's going to be a big time game. And it's so weird, isn't it? Where he literally was a Jaguar a couple weeks ago, and now he's just here. Started from the bottom. Now we are here, but we're back at the bottom since we're back in Duval. I'm just kidding. I like Jacksonville. It's not a big deal. Vikings final injury report came out on Friday. 3 designated as questionable, but not really. So Cashman outside. How about that? As well as Ivan Pace Jr. Both listed as questionable, except they participated in full on Friday, which is fantastic. Pace has been dinged up with an ankle earlier in the year. This time with a knee. Now Cashman has missed the last 3 games with a turf toe injury. So hopefully they'll be back. And Gabe Murphy also listed as questionable, except he's in the midst of his 21-day return to practice window off of injured reserve. So as he wasn't going to be a factor anyway. Everyone else is in full. Also, you see Gilly and Harrison Smith getting some veteran days rest. DNP, old. Yeah. Jaguars have had a lot of injuries, man. So Ezra Cleveland's been ruled out, so no more revenge game narrative there. Also, Mason Smith, rookie defensive tackle from LSU, ruled out as well with a ankle injury. And then they have a bunch of players that are questionable. But yeah, a handful of them practice in full on Friday. Duvernay, blah, 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 blah. But also Brian Thomas Jr., BTJ, been dinged up with a rib issue, toughed it out last week, and we'll see how effective he's going to be on Sunday. He is public enemy number 1 in terms of the Vikings defense. Got to stop 7 and then just go from there. But with Cashman pretty confident in him being able to play on Friday. When asked about his availability, he said this, quote, absolutely put a lot of trust in our sports medicine staff, and they've done a great job with me, and we're going to continue with what they have planned for me and make sure I'm available for as many games as possible, end quote. And Cashman is certainly an X factor on that defense when he is out there, and it's a pretty clear line of demarcation of when he was in 5-0, when he was out 2 losses, including 2 games where the Vikings defense gave up 4 touchdowns apiece. But Cashman and Pace, hopefully knocking on all the wood, healthy for the rest of the way, because having that interior or that middle, the hat of that front 7 healthy and in there, it's good to go, man. Because Pace is great with the green dot, but when Cashman has those duties, it frees I just said duty, frees Pace to do Pace things, and Cashman is great in coverage, great with run fills, and also great just being a leader out there, calling twists and stunts at the line. And yeah, this defense is going to get back to good as soon as that toe. Sokotoa. What was that class? Is that geometry? Sokotoa? Never used that a day in your life. Also, do you remember? So the TI-83 calculators were like $200 back in the day. And your teacher was always like, you're never going to have a calculator in your pocket all the time. Shut up. Shut your face. Also, we used to learn cursive. The only time I use cursive is when I'm like signing things, and or like signing a check. Also, who still uses checks? Oh, indulge me here. So, at an undisclosed location, I was very annoyed by the lack of places that accept cash anymore. I feel like legally they kind of have to, isn't that? But it's weird. They would rather pay the 2, 3, and 4% transaction fees on credit and debit cards versus having someone who's able to count cash. Now, I understand a lot of it was like in a downtown area, and I guess there's some security concerns about having cash on hand, but come on, man. I like paying in cash, but whatever. Anyways, the hell we're talking about. Also with that defense, Diamond Dallas Turner. So he had himself a fantastic breakout game against the Colts. No, he did not get home for a sack, but the pressures were there. And also that quick-ass first step, I love it. I love him. Like, he and Grenard are the quickest edge duo in the league. That's fantastic. Vikes fan page. Vikings edge rusher Diamond Dallas Turner had a 60% pressure rate on Sunday, according to ESPN's Next Gen Stats. Just scratching the surface, still a lot more room to improve, and Turner's going to be a special player. I understand fans' frustration with Turner early on. It's like, oh, he's not getting the sacks. Oh, look at Jared Verse. Oh, look at Latu. Hey, Latu and Jared Verse are both literally 2.5, 3 years older than Dallas Turner. Like, just imagine where Turner's 21. Imagine where he is going to be in 2-3 seasons. That's where Verse and Latu essentially are at right now. So don't sweat it. And he has a chance to be a stud. Also, if anyone knows Turner, like, our offer is still good. Like, if he has a sack and hits the diamond cutter, we will donate $1,000 to Turner's charity of choice. Lock it up, because I just wanted to catch on so bad. Like, how many people do you know are named Dallas? Actually, a few. It doesn't matter. Anyways, speaking of Grenard and pressure rate, so this was put together by Brandon Thorne, who's a great offensive line authority. So he knows a thing or two about pressure rates. But in terms of defenders, he went through and listed the tier 1 edge rushers in terms of pressures, as well as a true pressure rate, like who's getting legitimate organic production the most. And Bosa won, as well as Jonathan Grenard, numero dos. Both have 41 pressures, and true pressure rate is just slightly behind the man in San Francisco. But Grenard ahead of Myles Garrett, ahead of Aiden Hutchinson. Hopefully he's healing up. Even also, the fact that you have Chris Jones in here is insane. Also, Zach Allen is super underrated on the interior for the Broncos as well. There's Jared Verse. Yeah, and also Danielle Hunter. What up? And also, yeah, Josh Hines Allen, who we'll see here in 2 seconds on Sunday. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. But, hey, luckily we know a guy in Cam Robinson who practiced against Josh Hines Allen every single day in every single way. All right. Also, on the back end of the Vikings defense, I feel like Shaq Griffin has been exceedingly underrated this season. And PFF Vikes backs that up. The lowest completion rate allowed in single coverage this season, minimum 10 targets. Shaq Griffin, 20%. And I know that Murph and Gilly have been your starting cornerbacks in base defense, and Shaq comes in nickel and plays on the outside. Murph kicks inside, but Shaq's been really underrated, man. I feel like his production has been really fantastic whenever he's been allowed to play, but sort of is what it is. But yeah, free Griff. If you have to take Murph off the field in base, I'm okay with that. Yeah. Something I'm also okay with is slinging Sam Darnold, a.k.a. America's quarterback, where he played so good at the beginning of the season that now I feel like we're expecting more. You wanted more than he could give, but he's still playing really damn well. Like, he's top 4 in the league in terms of touchdown passes and quarterback rating. He's top 10 in most other statistical categories as well. And Darnold's playing well, and maybe he's suffering from success DJ Khaled styles that. We're sort of looking at a gift horse in the mouth, because it's like we want more. And that's okay, because raised expectations, stop making stupid mistakes. And I understand that it's a fine line of wanting him to be more aggressive and attack downfield, which is great. But also, I feel like you can definitely pare down on some of the dumb mistakes. Like, there's aggressive mistakes, and there's very just stupid mistakes. The Jefferson interception against the Colts was, I guess you could call that aggressive mistake, although it wasn't triple coverage and Addison was running a clear and was kind of wide open. But also, was he part of the progression? Don't know. But the red zone interception was just dumb. Yeah. Per Persuasion, Vikings quarterback Sam Darnold has had a passer rating of over 100 in 7 of 8 starts this season, tied for first in the NFL with Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson. I feel like Lamar's done pretty good. I guess Lamar is MVP. Yeah, it happens, man. But yeah, I feel like eyeball test wise, like Darnold certainly passes it. Black and white stats wise, Darnold's certainly there as well. So, I mean, like I said, I think that he is suffering a little bit from his own success. Is that everyone came in with very low expectations for Darnold because he was seen as a draft bust, but then he played exceedingly well in September NFC Offensive Player of the Month, and now it's just like, oh, you only threw 3 touchdowns at 100 quarterback rating. We want more. But I'm certainly okay with that. Speaking of throwers, so Justin freaking Jefferson. Jefferson's actually had a number of passing attempts throughout his career. And that's actually pretty good. So Jets thinks that he can do everything, and he's probably not wrong, right? Vikes fan page. Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson on if he is the best throwing non-quarterback on the team. Quote, "We always have those debates on who should be the one throwing the ball in this offense. I'm always vouch for me every time." So yeah, a man of many talents. And I feel like if there was another quarterback injury last year, I mean, just have Jefferson throw the ball to himself. Why the hell not? But in terms of, I don't know, who's the other quarterback? So taking out the quarterbacks, like who else is in there? I know that Cam Akers was a record-setting high school quarterback, except I'm sure that they're running some form of the veer or triple option or whatever. But in terms of, I don't know, just pure arm talent, like Jefferson's pretty good in terms of what. Who was? I'm trying to think who was a really good wide receiver passer, left-handed. Was it Mo Sanu? I want to say it was Mohamed Sanu was really good. Like taking that reverse to the left and just rocking it. Like he had a good arm. Anyone else? No, I don't really see it on offense. Maybe Oliver. Nah, not even Oliver. No. So, yeah, I guess JJ is going to be quarterback 1. Speaking of 1, cornerback 1, Sauce Gardner of the Jets. Respect, one of the best young cover corners in the game. And the Vikings and the Jets, they got together over in London. And the offense was not perfect on the day by any means, but still got it done. And they got some respect from one of the best corners, if not the best corner in the league. Purple Suasion again. Sauce Gardner talking on the Richard Sherman podcast, talking about the Vikings. Quote, "Their OC is nice. He's probably one of the best OCs I played against, like ever." So pretty sure he's talking about Kevin O'Connell, the offensive play caller / head coach, not Wes Phillips. But I don't know. Wes Phillips is like, oh, I got the vapors. Sauce Gardner saying nice things about me. But high praise for Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell from Jets star cornerback Sauce Gardner. Richard Sherman agrees he's one of the best out there. So some big time respect from guys in the know. A guy who had to defend what was going on with Vikings offense. Of course, Richard Sherman is one of the best zone cover 3 corners in recent history. Right. So respect there. Kevin O'Connell getting his flowers. That would be good to go. But also, hopefully getting his flowers too. I want Cam Robinson to have a clean sheet. 0 pressure, 0 sacks, 0 whatever, and just grading in the run game. Let's do that up on Sunday. Let's do that. But that's it. Vikings news done for this beautiful Saturday. You guys are the best you know what to do. Skol, production value.